Hello dear parents, this video is for you. In this video, you're going to learn how to handle your teenager child. As a parent, you need to connect emotionally and build a relationship with your child. Who want to be a successful, respectful, gentle and conscious parent should avoid these things. These are 10 things which I am going to tell you should avoid saying to your child. Hi, I am Chetna, your relationship and a career coach. Here are the 10 things which you are going to avoid saying your child. First is because I said so. How many of us were told this as a kid? Because I said so and not given a clear explanation for why our parents were telling us to do or not do certain things? We all need our children sometimes to do things which we ask them to do. Sometimes there isn't any explanation or we don't have time for explanation. We just want our child to do what we have said. We really want them to do what we say. That need not be the norm. If you want to become a peaceful parent, then the norm should be I am able to handle or I am able to back up the things what I say. Right? It's your fault. Blaming. Blaming is something that we need to avoid, we need to stop when we are trying to be a peaceful parent. Blaming is never problem solving. And we want to turn towards problem solving. So, looking at their faults, pointing out their faults, making them think that whose fault it is. This is something we need to try and avoid. The first thing you have to do is come back on the track. Find out what you have to do next rather than finding their fault. Third is apologize now. If you want to be an intentional, mindful and conscious parent, you care what feelings, what emotions your child is expressing, not just the words. We don't want to teach them to pay lip service, to just say sorry and say thank you. When they don't feel those things, we as a parent need to teach them true manners, true way of apology, regrets and remorse, a true way to actually reconcile. When there is a tear, a rip with their connection with someone else. We want to help kindly a true sense of remorse in our children. First of all, we need to wait when they actually feel sorry. And second of all, we need to model apologizing to them so that they come to know that when they feel sorry, they should and they can express it. Fourth is you are okay. If a child gets hurt or upset by something, what often happens in mainstream parenting? They say, you are okay. Nothing have happened. This is just absolutely trampling the child's experience. Suppressing their negative emotions, just trampling them, oppressing them, saying no, you are feeling okay is not the way to do it. The way to do it is to actually get in touch with those emotional feelings, to feel them fully, to accept them, to move through them, to express them and let them go, and then you feel better. When you suppress negative emotions, when you constantly get the message from the outside world that our feelings are wrong, that we are okay, when we felt we were not okay, then those emotions stay within us, they stay within our body. We store them as stress, as pain, and they come out in other ways. They come out through our acting, our behaviors. So, if your child got hurt and you want them to man up, toughen up, handle it, then actually you want to go the opposite route or whatever they need so that they feel that they are cared, their emotions are being heard, are being seen and tolerated. they can move through them with ease. Then they can get back on track because they feel hurt. If they never feel that their pain was accepted, was empathized, then they get louder and louder in their cries for help. How to get empathy they need from their parent. Fifth one is, you are being impossible. You are being mean. Telling children that they are a problem, that they are difficult for us, and I am totally guilty for this. It's just the wrong message. The truth is that children don't give a hard time. They are having a hard time. A child who is acting out, who is being cranky, means they aren't feeling so great inside. And so, when you see a child acting out, misbehaving, teasing, throwing their food, doing whatever, it is that they are facing a hard time. And you perceive as kind of giving you a hard time. Go and flip that story around in your head and say, "Hi, I see that you are having a hard time. Stop crying. Crying is healthy. Getting out feelings is healthy. Tears are a very healthy way of expressing emotions. They are a good release, just like laughter. If a child is crying, bring it on. Bring on ever more crying. Now, this doesn't mean that you are always going to tolerate response that might be out of proportion or that might be manipulative to every situation. We need to gently and carefully teach them an alternate way of expressing themselves. Instead of saying, "Stop crying," say this, "It's okay to cry." Seventh is, "Oh, it's not so hard, it's easy." When children are struggling with something and frustrated, it's so easy for us adults to come in and tell them, "It's not hard." Tell them that it's easy. And we sometimes think that this is helping them somehow because it will change their mindset about their frustration. They will suddenly say, "Oh, you're right, Mom, it's easy." Let's remember that children are in a bit of a different developmental stage than us adults. Things that we find easy are not easy for them. So, if they are saying it's hard, of course, we do want to strengthen their resolve. And another way of doing that will be a lot more effective. Eighth one is, we don't do that. Whatever it is your child doing, saying, "I don't want you to do that," is always going to reinforce the behavior. Saying, "Don't run into the road," "Don't talk like that," "Don't hit," "Don't use your hands." Instead, we want to paint a picture of them in their mind of what we do want them to do. So always try using positive here. Use gentle hands. Use kind words. Please use a quiet voice. Tell your child what you do want them to do. Please stay on a sidewalk. Please hold my hand. These are the ways of painting a picture of success for a child rather than forcing on their failure. Ninth one is, go to your room. Telling a child to go to a timeout, to go to their room, to leave the situation in a way that makes them feel shunned and neglected and like they are actually outcast from the family. This is going to make them feel defensive and under attack. Instead, we want to say, "Do you need a break?" We still need to remove the child from the situation. And we might say, "I see that you're having trouble using gentle hands. We need to take a break. I'm going to help you." We are helping them to take a break and not to hurt themselves or others, not to make the situation worse, not because it's a punishment, not because we want to send them away from our presence, but because everybody is having a hard time. 10th one is, this is my home and I decide. Often in mainstream parenting, there is a kind of hierarchy, a very clear hierarchy between parent and child. We actually emphasize that hierarchy. We keep pointing out that we pay the bills, that we put a roof over their heads, that we make the decisions, that we are the adults, that we have power. Now this is true, that we are in a leadership role and we do have the authority. That is okay. But the idea in peaceful and mindful parenting, in conscious parenting, is to move into a place where we share a power as much as possible. That doesn't mean that we abdicate as the leader. You still need to make the home rules. But in peaceful parenting, we try to do that with our children. How do we want it to look? What kind of atmosphere we do want to create together? Not I get to decide, but we get to decide what kind of family we have. Keep watching, keep subscribing our very own channel.